Hey, what's going on, everyone? Playing another game of Street Masters today. I've already had the game set up, but I'll just run you through who I'm playing with and what I'm dealing with. So, today, playing with the global gladiator Ying Hua, a cop who is actually also in Brook City. So, if you got the keys to the kingdom in Brook City, you'll be able to play as her. And to keep with the Brook City theme, she's going to be going against the Golden Dragons and fighting the boss Ah Long, who's also in Brook City with the Keys to the Kingdom expansion. We're going to be on the one step ahead stage. The stage is pretty much you're going up a mountain, and same thing, just trying to stop the boss. As an ally, I got Kemono to help me out. And then I thought it'd be fun to put Chan Chan as a rival. Mainly because I just want to get these two big figures on the board. Have them butt heads. So Chan Chan's helping out Along. Kemono is helping me out. I already drawn my 4 cards and did my mulligan. And here we go. We'll just get into play. So first things first, the threat phase. Draw a card. And we get purple Dow. He gets 1 kick and 1 grapple defense. And the space nearest me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's actually the closest up here. So each fighter will start with climbing gear. I have the blue one right now. The climbing gear, there's these little, pretty much the walls whenever you go up the stage. These little caution markers. Yeah, hazardous zones. If you don't have climbing gear, then they stop you, and then you also get like hits subtracted from your die roll. So it's good if the enemy's on there. But with the climbing gear, I can treat it as a normal space, so I don't get affected by it because I can climb the walls really easily. You think Kemono would be big enough to climb them himself, but now that is a huge difference between these two. Just gotta show y'all that it's a heck of an ally to have with you. Okay, back to the game. So I got Dow out there, now I have to decide what I want to do. But now tactics are always good, but I only have 1 in my hand. So I'll just lay down this tactic. It's Hunch. Anytime a fighter will be dealt damage by a minion, you may shuffle 1 copy of that minion from the enemy discard pile back into the enemy deck to reduce that damage by 2. And then it also has an action. Choose 1 fighter to draw 1 card, then you may play 1 card. So Kemono's ability, he starts with the 3 defense. He attacks with 3, and I can exhaust him for him to move up to 3 spaces and then attack each enemy engaged with him. So he's really good. If there's a group of enemies, he uses all his arms to start knocking everybody around. Now, if Chan Chan activates in their enemy turn, Chan Chan says advance 3 spaces towards the nearest fighter and attack. Then, if unengaged, each enemy within 3 spaces gains 1 random defense token. So, if Chan Chan's still in the open, not fighting anybody, everyone around is going to start getting more defense, so that's not good. Alright, so I already played a card, so I don't even know why I'm really looking at my cards anymore. I can just do my move and then an action step. So for moving, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Get this crate. Let's see what I get. Martial Arts Magazines. Discard this card to choose yourself or an adjacent fighter. The chosen fighter gains 2 random defense tokens, so I'm going to use that right away. And it says gain 2 random defense tokens. So punch and a punch. That's good. Start getting some defense on myself. And I still have an action step I can do. And then I also need to... Well, exhaust can be done at any time, really. So I can wait till he moves up and then exhaust Kemono to attack. Alright, so... Actually, I'm going to do the hunch action. Choose one fighter to draw a card, which will be me. And then I may play one card. So I'm going to play Long Arm of the Law. It's an attack, punch attack. Attack 1 die, targeting any enemy in play. Before this attack, you may exhaust up to 3 cards you control to gain +1 attack die for each card exhausted this way. So if I do 1, 2, and 3, because I know they've said that you control your own character card, so you can exhaust that. Then I'll be rolling 4 dice total to anyone on the board. And it's a punch attack, which Along has no defense at the moment. Since we're 1 player, I have to do 20 points of damage to him. Chan Chan has 2 punch defense. And then Dao has no punch defense. So do I want to start hurting the boss while he's wide open? That wouldn't be a bad idea. I think I might do that. Okay, so I'm going to... She pulls out her gun and takes some shots up the mountain to Along. So I got 4 hits and 1 punch defense for myself. So Along has now 16 damage left. No criticals though. That would have been nice. Alright, so that'll be my turn. So now the react phase. Chan Chan is first. Chan Chan is going to activate and move 3 spaces towards the nearest fighter. 1, 2, 3. Chan Chan moves in a hazardous space. So it says, each time a figure moves into a hazardous space, that figure stops moving. Each time a figure in a hazardous space deals any type of damage, reduce damage by 2 to a minimum of 1. So that's how much they can move anyway, so it doesn't really affect Chan Chan. So then, if unengaged, which she is, each enemy within gains 1 random defense token. So I believe I'm just supposed to roll 1 defense token for everyone. And it says each enemy within 3 spaces, which I'm assuming Chan Chan counts themselves also. So pretty much all 3 enemies are going to get whatever I roll here, which is a punch. So 1 for Along, 1 for Chan Chan, and now Dao has 1 of each. Okay, now Dao, he's going to advance 4 spaces towards the nearest fighter and attack. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for strategy, just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to have him target, we're equal, but I'm going to have him target Kemono, because if I have him target me, he'll he'll get stopped by the hazardous spot and be able to attack me. Whereas if he goes towards Kemono, he'll have to stop right here and I'll stop his movement. So then he wouldn't be able to attack. Then retreat 2 spaces and gain 1 random defense token for each space retreated to. Now I'm assuming, so it says each time a figure moves into a hazardous space, that figure stops moving. So I wonder if that means like he wouldn't be able to retreat 2 spaces. For now, that's how I'm going to read it. If you guys know if he would be able to retreat 2 spaces or not, let me know. But for now, I'm just going to have it where if they ever enter a hazardous zone, any other type of movement's just going to be lost for them. Or for myself if that happens. So what I'm going to do now is, now that he has to gain a... Oh, he doesn't get a random defense token because he couldn't retreat. I'm going to exhaust Kemono. So he's going to move 3 spaces. So I'll move him 1, 2. And he's going to attack 3 to Dao. And the allies, just like the rivals and the main boss and pretty much everyone else, all the minions, they roll the white dice. So we'll just have to see what type of damage he does. Kick, kick, kick. So he blocks 1, but then does 2 damage to Dao. So now he has 4 left. Alright, so react phase is done. I'm going to draw another card. I get another hunch. So every now and then some characters have tactic cards that don't have the little star next to the name. So that means I can have multiple hunches out. Which is going to be good because a lot of Ying Hua's cards will tell you to exhaust cards to make the current card more powerful. So that'll be nice. Alright, so now I'll flip my card. So now it's the enemy turn. So. Oh, whoops. I forgot to give him his starting 2 defense tokens at the beginning of the game. Forgot to read his setup. Oh no, so that actually changes some stuff. So he would have actually blocked 2 of the damage. So the initial 2 he would have started with, he's going to block 2 of those. So now he only has 2 out of 18. Well, that kind of sucks. I would have changed my tactics. I would have tried to take him out. But, oh well, that was my mistake. I didn't read all the cards all the way. So, alright, for now, Ah Long activates. He's going to advance 2 spaces towards the nearest fighter, which he would stop right there anyways. Then if unengaged, he gains 1 random defense token, a grapple, and shuffles the topmost Heavenly Dragon card in his discard pile back to his deck. So I have his own Heavenly Dragon special discard pile here. So I'm just going to take one of those, shuffle it into the deck, and then it'll be the stage turn. And right now, none of the stage cards have an activate on it. So then we're just going to draw a stage card, and then it'll be back to my turn. Real quick shuffle here. Alright. So the stage card says Strong Winds event. Each figure not carrying an objective is dealt 2 general damage. Then each figure that suffered any amount of damage this way falls. So I'm the only figure that has an objective, which is the climbing gear. These strong winds are pushing everyone around the mountain. So everyone else on the board is going to gain 2 general damage. So first for Ah Long, I'm going to get rid of 1 of his punches and a kick. So he blocks that. Chan Chan, get rid of 1 grapple, 1 punch. Dao's going to get rid of the 2 defense token he has. And Kemono has to get rid of 2 of his grapples. And I'm safe. So no one suffered any damage, so no one falls. Which if someone fell, I would just read that rule right there. So now it's back to my turn. I unexhaust everything. And we draw a new threat card. Wanbo, green. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have 2 spaces that he can emerge from. Okay, so I just realized I messed up Dal's movement. So luckily I caught it early because on Steep Cliffs card it says that the map consists of 3 cliffs, each cliff divided by a row of hazardous spaces. The cliff with the entry space is the lowest, and then the cliff with the cave space up here is the highest. Minions treat the cave space as the nearest fighter when there are no other fighters on their cliff. So when Dao would have advanced towards somebody, because there's no one else on his cliff, he should have started making his way towards the cave. So for now, I'm just going to leave it alone because that was just one fighter. Luckily, it wasn't a whole row of fighters, but I'll make sure to try not to make that mistake again. So, okay. Yeah, we have Wanbo, no defense tokens. And my act phase. So I'm going to put down another hunch because they don't have a star on it, so you can have multiple hunches out. I'm going to move 1, 2. I can move freely on the hazardous zone since I have my climbing gear. And then let's see. Alright, I'm going to use the hunch action here. So it says choose a fighter to draw a card, so I'll draw another card. Observe and report, so this one does have a star on it, so it's like a unique card. I'm not sure if that's what they call it, but I can only have one of these down on my play area. And then I may play a card, so I'm going to play Shadow Kick, attack, 1 attack up to 3 times. Before each attack, you may exhaust 1 card you control to gain +1 attack die. So, attacking Dao there for the first one. And this kick, so he has no defense damage, so anything's going to just go through. I got a crit. So I did 3 damage there. So now he's at 5 out of 6, and I get a kick defense. So I'm going to do it again. So I'll exhaust that one for the next attack. Roll 2 dice. So 2 hits, I get another kick defense. So now Dao's dead. I feel kind of bad because I misplayed him and he should have never been in that position. He should have been running away to go to the caves, but oh well, I made a mistake. We'll just keep moving on. So I'll get a loot card from him. Turkey Platter. During your turn, you may either give this card to a fighter adjacent to you or discard this card to heal 3 damage. So I'm the only main fighter, even though he's considered a fighter for enemy purposes, but I got a Turkey Platter. Alright, so now this will go in my discard pile. And I think that'll be it. Yeah. So now the react phase for the minions here and Chan Chan. So Chan Chan's going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Now, the whole thing that I read about, what was it? Oh, where the minions would move up here if we're not on the same cliff edge or cliff. Chan Chan's a rival, so they're not considered, as far as I know, they're not minions. So minions will actually say minion on them. These guys actually say rival or ally, so they don't have to go with that rule that they would go off the board. If anything, it'd be a plus for me getting Chan Chan off the board. But one of the losing conditions is if 3 or more fighters leave the map, then I would lose. So Chan Chan's going to attack me with 3 hits. 1 of each, which I can block 1 of each. Whoops. So now I'm 1 away from being charged up. Chan Chan's engaged, so she doesn't get to give anybody random defense tokens. Now Juan Bo, he moves 1 space towards the nearest fighter and attacks, which he can't. If unengaged, this enemy deals 2 general damage to each fighter within 2 spaces of it. So with his bow, he can do a crazy sweep attack if no one's around him. But we're outside of that zone. If this enemy dealt no damage during this activation, it gains 1 random defense tokens. So if he's always by himself, never hitting anybody, he's going to gain defense. So he gets a grapple. Let's see. Okay, and now react phase is done. I draw a card. Phoenix Tail. I like that card because it can move me around pretty quickly. And flip my card over. So now the enemy goes. How long is going to move 2 spaces up? He's unengaged, so he gains a random defense token. Another grapple. And he's going to get another one of his Heavenly Dragon cards shuffled into the deck. So for setup, I like to put mine face down just so I have no idea what's coming from how long. Just to add more of a surprise when they do come out. There's only 5 cards, so I think a couple of them repeat, but it's still nice to get the surprise. And alright, now the stage turn. So there's no activation on these cards, so we're just going to draw a stage card. We got some climbing gear, the purple, which is right here. And I'm actually going to exhaust Kemono now, because I almost forgot, but he's going to go 1, 2, and then go with 3, so that way he gets this one. And he can kind of protect himself from some of the cards and be able to move easier. Because all it says for the climbing gear is each time a figure enters a space containing this objective, that figure picks up this objective. So he entered it and he picks it up. I'm not 100% sure if I'm supposed to be moving these cards from, like if he's supposed to be equipped with it. I believe so. I don't think I'm supposed to leave them up in the stage area because they go to whoever's carrying them. Okay, so now back to the fighter turn. So unexhaust everything and draw another card from the enemy deck. So now we have Jin. He starts with 2 punch defense. Closest space is here. Alright, let's see. It'd be nice to take out Chan Chan. Here, I'll start with Kemono, get some hits in there. So he's going to move 1, 2. So that way he's touching Chan Chan and Algon. Because when he rolls his 3 dice, he attacks each enemy engaged with them. So both enemies are going to take whatever he rolls here. So he rolled 1 of each. So first with Along, he takes 1 hit and he blocks the other 2. Chan Chan blocks the punch and takes 2 damage. Now I need to see what I can do. So I can do a lot of damage to Chan Chan. Okay, so I'm going to play Phoenix Tail. It's a kick. I attack with 2. This attack may target an enemy within 5 spaces, but I'm just going to attack Chan Chan right in front of me. Exhaust up to 3 cards you control, so 1, 2, 3 to add +1 die. So I don't have a utility pack, but I'm going to have to roll an extra die after I roll these. And then it says after resolving this attack, you may move into any empty space adjacent to the target. So with my first full initial roll, which Chan Chan has no defense for kicks, just 4 hits. So Chan Chan's at 6 out of 8. And then I'm going to move here. So this one's gone. Then I'm going to, for an action, I'm going to do my interrogate, which is attack 2 and reveal the top card of the enemy deck. So it's an invincible armor tactic. So I'll leave that there for now. But for now, I'm going to attack with 2. Hopefully I get 2 hits because Chan Chan can't block this because it's a grapple. Woo! Oh, that was perfect. So I got 2 grapple defense and the 2 hits on Chan Chan. So I know Chan Chan's a favorite of everybody, but for now, this big old panda bear is out of the game. I got a loot card from that. Got a Molotov cocktail. I can throw this within 3 spaces of me, and then everyone in and adjacent to that chosen space suffers 3 general damage, so that's pretty nice. So these a quick slide over. And then, let's see, what was I? Oh, okay. Then after this attack, you may discard the top card of the enemy deck to gain 1 defense token of your choice for each copy of the discarded card in the enemy discard pile. So this was one of his tactics. It helps out along to just get more defense tokens, so I'm definitely going to discard that. There's no other copies of that card in here, so I just get one. I think it's one defense token of my choice. I'm going to take a kick, so now I have 2 of each. And now it'll be the react phase. Well, I could still move if I wanted. But I think I'm going to stay. Yeah. I'm just going to stay there. So, Wanbo, he's going to move 1, and he stops. He doesn't do any damage because he can't do his bigger attack since he's unengaged. So he just gains 1 random defense token. Whoa. A grapple. Now Jin, he attacks each fighter engaged with him, which is no one. Then if unengaged, he gains 1 random defense token. A kick. He's going to advance 3 spaces towards the nearest fighter, so just 1, 2, and do 3 general damage. So I'll just take 1 of each. So that's going to charge me up because it just takes 4. So I flip over my card. So my regular action is a grapple attack with interrogate. Maybe it's like I'm grabbing him by the collar and I'm interrogating him for more information. They gave me information about invincible armor last time, so I was able to get rid of it. On her charged up side, it actually changes to a kick, and it's dead to rights. If I do this, I attack with 2 dice. If the target of this attack shares the name of a card in the enemy discard pile, this attack gains +1 attack and deals direct damage. Otherwise, you may play 1 card after this attack, then flip this card. Alright, so now the draw phase. I got observe and report, I think. Yeah, so now I have 2 of those. And flip over my fighter turn card, so now it's the enemy turn. So Along activates, he's already adjacent and engaged with both of us, so he doesn't have to advance. And he's going to attack with 4 attack die. He's adjacent to both of us, so it's up to me if I want him to attack Kemono or attack me, which he only has 1 defense die and I have 1 of each. And he's pretty strong, so I'd like him to I want him to stay healthy. But no matter what, I'm going to take at least 1 damage. I'm going to have to drop my gear, but I'll do my best to just pick it right back up. So I'm going to have him attack me. Yeah. 2 grapples, a punch, and a kick. So all these 3 flip, and I take 1 damage. So even though I'm already charged up, I still keep my charge tokens here, because the second I become uncharged, I spend 4 immediately and then become charged again. So you don't lose them. Because I took a damage, that figure drops 1 objective, so I drop the blue. I'm going to drop it right here, keep it away from the other guys. Alright, so I'll slide this over. Alright, so now or is that all he does? Yeah, because everything else is if he's unengaged. So now the stage step, the only thing that activates is the climbing gear. It says, so if it's in the stage play area, which it is now, the enemy nearest this objective, not carrying an objective, moves 3 spaces towards it. So I'm going to choose Along to go towards it, and he can go through us because he's the boss. So he picks this up, and now he's got the climbing gear. And now I draw a stage card. Vertigo, stage condition. A fighter with no copy of Vertigo in their threat area must put this card in their threat area. So it's going to go in my area. And it says activate, discard one card or move one space towards the nearest entry space. Then you may discard 2 cards you control to discard this card. Alright, we'll just see how that affects us. I'm curious if the entry space means... Okay, so entry spaces are where the enemies come in. These are called fighter start spaces. So I don't think that would be too bad of a card just to leave alone. Because I'd have to discard a lot of cards to get rid of that. And I'm trying to set myself up. Okay, back to the fighter turn. So I get Kemono back, my 2 hunches becoming exhausted. If I can do 1 damage to Along, he'll drop the climbing gear. Maybe I can pick it up again. So let's see. I can add another tactic, observe and report. If I exhaust this, choose yourself or an adjacent fighter. The chosen fighter gains 1 defense token of their choice and 1 power. So this is pointless for Kemono because since he can't make his own choice, he wouldn't gain a defense token, and he doesn't do anything with power, so I'm just going to use it for myself. And then it has a feint ability. Reveal the top 3 cards of the enemy deck and return them in any order. Then choose 1 fighter to move 1 card from their discard pile to their hand. So that can be nice to set myself up for a bigger card, where if I reveal certain enemies, I'll get stronger. So that was my play card step. I'm going to do Dead to Rights on Along. Since he doesn't have any kick defense, I'm definitely going to do damage to him. So it's going to be 2 attack die. If the target of this attack shares the name of a card in the enemy discard pile, which he doesn't, you'll gain +1, deal direct damage. Otherwise, after I do this, I'm going to be able to play a card after this attack. So just for the initial kick, well, I hit him once, which is what I needed for him to drop the gear. So I'll have him drop it right there, and I get 2 kick defense. Then I may play a card after this attack. So which one would work? I think I'll just do Long Arm of the Law. So it's attack 1 to any enemy in play. Before the attack, I may exhaust up to 3 cards you control to gain +1. So I'm going to exhaust 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 4 punch damage, which again, Along has none, and I'm going to choose him. So I got 1 crit, so for now, I did 4 damage. And I'm going to reroll 1. And another damage. So now he's at 9 out of 20 damage. Almost halfway there. So this will go away. So this card was played because of my specials. Normally I would flip this over, but then I'll flip it over again because I still have 4 power. So I'll spend those. I'm going to exhaust this to give myself a defense token of my choice. I'll take a punch and it'll give me a power. I'm going to activate. I can still move, so 1, 2, 3, just so I can pick up the climbing gear. And then I'm going to activate Kemono. He's going to move right here where I was, so he can be touching Aolong and Jin and attack both of them with 3. Two punches and a grapple. So Jin can block the 2 punches, but he takes 1 damage. And Aolong can block 1 of the grapples, but takes 2 damage from the punches. So let's see. Take these tokens. Alright, now he's at 11 out of 20. We're getting there. I'm pretty sure this was the card I played at the beginning. So I'm not going to overthink it. That'll just be it. Now the enemy phase. Wanbo goes. He's going to move forward. And we are still outside of his range for the 2 spaces because he's unengaged. So he gains 1 random defense token. Kick. Jin activates. Attack each fighter engaged with this enemy. So he hits pretty hard. He rolls for 4. And he's going to hit Kemono. If there were multiple, I never realized that he could actually hit everyone. But Kemono is definitely taking damage right now. And he's going to drop his climbing gear. So he blocks 1. This takes 3 damage. So his climbing gear goes back in the stage play area. The purple token, I'll put it, I guess, here. And now for the vertigo, discard 1 card or move 1 space towards the nearest entry space, which I'm actually already on. Then you may discard 2 cards you control to discard this card. That's not really that big of a deal if I just move 1 space towards the nearest entry space, so I'm actually going to just leave it alone. Okay, so now draw phase, I'm going to draw a card. I got another hunch. If this was Brook City, this would be going pretty good because I'm getting all these hunches to help me out, but well, they still help her out. Let's see. Okay, so now the enemy turn. Aolong is already adjacent to Kemono. So he's going to attack with 4. Because Kemono doesn't have any defense, I'm not even going to roll it. He's just going to hit him 4 damage. So now he's at 7 out of 8 health. So he only has 1 health left. Even if he goes away on the next turn, he still helped me out a lot. And then that'll be it for Aolong. Now the stage. Aolong's going to move to the purple gear to pick this up. So now he controls some climbing gear. And now we draw a card. Another vertigo. It says, fighter with no copy of vertigo in their threat area must put this card in the threat area. So since I already have one, I assume this just gets discarded. So it would have been pointless to get rid of this because I would have just gotten rid of cards and then gotten vertigo again. No thanks. Okay, back to the fighter turn. So I unexhaust all my stuff. Got a bunch of cards building up here. I'm going to start with Kemono. So he's going to stay where he's at and hit Jin and Ah Long for 3 attack. Punch, punch, grapple. So Jin has none of those, so he'll take 3 damage. So now he's at 4 out of 5. Ah Long can block 1 grapple. That takes 2 more damage. 13 out of 20 now. And oh, which means this climbing gear actually falls out of, or Ah Long drops it since he took damage. So first I'm going to against Ah Long, I'm going to use my Dead to Rights again. So when I attack 2, it's a kick, which he doesn't have defense for. And there's no card in the enemy discard pile that shares his name, so I'll be able to play a card from this. So this is my first action. Roll 2. So I get 1 kick defense and do 1 damage. And then I'll get to play a card, and then I will flip this. So the card I'm going to play is just another hunch, just to get them all out there. Then I'm going to move. I go 1, 2, 3. I want to see what's in these crates, get some loot, and I got a flashbang. At any time, you may discard this card to discard 2 defense tokens of your choice from an enemy engaged with you. So that's pretty nice. So now I can still play a card. Well, so I was thinking about throwing the Molotov cocktail in this area, but that means I'd end up killing Kemono, and I'd rather just one of these guys having to waste their move on doing that instead. Jin can do that on him instead of Jin coming after me. So it sucks, but Kemono's going to be out this coming round. Yep. Alright, so can I still play a card? Actually, so I'm going to play fall back. Each fighter may move 1 space, so I'm going to move 1 up. Then each unengaged fighter gains 2 defense tokens of their choice. So I'm going to take 2 grapple defense. Each fighter gains defense tokens. This way, you may deal an enemy within 3 spaces of you 2 direct damage. So I think because he can't choose to gain defense tokens, he doesn't. So that won't let me activate the bottom part of it. So allies kind of hurt the fallback card. But what I'm going to do is use Molotov cocktail, and I'm actually going to, well, yeah, I'm going to throw in the space where Kemono's at. I know this kind of sucks, but hey, I'm Ying Hua, and in my eyes, he's still a bad guy. He was just an informant. But I'm willing to let him make the ultimate sacrifice. So I'm choosing this space so him and everyone around him will take 3 general damage. So he's out. He served his part. But Jin can only block 1, so he takes another damage and he's out. which means I'll get a loot card from that. So I got some cash. I'm going to take him off the board. That'll be nice when someone's getting close to me. And then A Long, he can block one of those and takes 2 more damage. So now he's at 16 out of 20. I just have to do 4 more damage to A Long. And I will win this setup here. The only thing left is... Okay, so now that was my turn. Yeah, so now the react phase, Wanbo moves up. He just gets another random defense token since he hasn't damaged anybody. So he gets a punch. Vertigo, I move towards the near sentry space. And I'm not going to discard 2 cards to get rid of that. So now I draw a card in my turn. I have Apprehend. Alright. Enemy turn. A Long turn advance towards me and attack 4 dice. Hopefully I can block all these. 3 punches and a kick. So I can't. So I can block 1 kick and 1 punch, which will charge me up, and I'm going to take 2 damage. Whoops. So these go away. And I'm going to drop my climbing gear since I took damage. So I'll put it right there. And since he's engaged with me, he doesn't get any more random defense tokens or Heavenly Dragon cards. Now the stage says the enemy nearest this objective not carrying an objective moves 3 spaces towards it. So I'll have him grab the blue one here. Or sorry. Yeah, blue. What am I doing? It would have to be, the purple was getting activated first. So here we go to purple. And then the blue activates this one to move 3. 1, 2, 3. But he's not able to pick it up. New stage card. Vertigo again. So that's 3 vertigos in a row. So I was just getting rid of cards for nothing. And back to my turn. I got all my cards. Threat area. Have Dow. Or threat phase. Closest one is here. He gains 1 kick and 1 grapple. Okay, so I'm going to move 1. I'll get the blue climbing gear. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to start with my Dead to Rights attack. So it's going to be the 2 attack die, which are kicks, which A Long has. Well, he doesn't have any defense of any kind, so I'm just going to, anything I do to him is just going to go right through. I got 1 exploding die there, so far 2 hits. Whoop, I could just end it here. Well, that's already 4 hits, and I got a shield, so I just got a lot of crits, and that's actually going to end it right there. Wasn't expecting that, because he only needed 4 damage left, and now A Long is out. That's all I had to do, so. Ying Hua is victor here. had to sacrifice. Well, I didn't have to sacrifice Kemono, but it meant hurting Along and also taking out one of the minions just so I can get more loot. Just could have been better loot, but thought it was a choice I had to make. So there you go. That was Ying Hua. Some more allies and rivals for you guys to see, and she took out Along. I'm all in on the Brook City Well, I was on the Kickstarter, but I was on the pledge, the late pledge that's going on. So I'm all in on that. So it's gonna be fun to get Ying Hua and Along in that game also. And they have ally and rival cards to go here. So I don't know how to explain it. They have twins. Maybe they'll be helping each other or going against each other, but that should be pretty fun. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. Later.